Hi guys, welcome to Coco Africa TV, the only YouTube channel that gives you all the updates you deserve. Yet today we have a new gist for you, which is the Coco of the day. So viewers at home, stay put while I play you a short video. Relax and watch till the end, and as you do so, may God bless you and be with every one of you.
Anything else. On the side of, like you said, that the Honorable Minister said in terms of appointments and all that, it's not just appointments. It is the pervasive feeling that you people are second-class citizens. And I'll just give you 3 instances to tell you the mindset of those who are in charge in the country today. And that is why the Southeast people don't feel very comfortable with this administration. First, Danladi Umar of the Code of Conduct found in an altercation with some people in somewhere that he went to do some shopping. He was dealing at that time with a guard from Benue, not an Igbo person. And when there was a hula bolo coming out of it, the next thing he told his media person to say that Biafra boys attacked him. How could somebody? In other words, there are some part of this country that they call Biafra people, who are supposed to be the bad people. Then we go to the next one, and the southern governors made a strong statement about the law, because all that they said, no open grazing, because the land use decree gives the governors the right to determine the usage of land. And then the Attorney General of the Federation, who's supposed to be chief law officer, in responding to the southern governor, say, oh, what you're doing is the same thing as spare parts, banning spare parts in parts of the north. And everybody, of course, knows that the spare part dealers are mostly from the southeast. And then the third one, and the one that was the most painful cut for most of the people from the southeast, is when Mr. President was doing his interview in Arise Television, and there was a question about the IPOB. I said, oh, don't worry those people. They're just a dot, and they have businesses and property all over the country. In other words, equating everybody who is from the southeast, who has a business elsewhere from the southeast, as IPOB. So that gives you the mindset. And so when we talk about marginalization, anybody in the southeast, what they see is you don't belong. You understand me? That's all that they see. So if the president, for example, is required under the law to go ahead and appoint people, 1 per state, that is a requirement of the law. And so, for even all those people that he appoints from other places, the ones that he is comfortable with, they also have the same minister coming from their place. And so you're not doing us a favor. But it comes out when the statement is made by him and all. After all, did we not appoint you? Come on.
When last I spoke to you, I put the question to you then that do you think zoning the position of president and all that comes with it to the southeast could help assuage some of these feelings of being left out, some of these feelings of injustice and so on, as a deliberate act. People point to the fact that in 1998, when there was the transition program that led to the Fourth Republic, there was a deliberate effort on the part of the elite, military and civilian, to say, look, the 1993 election that led to all the trouble that finally culminated in both the death of the then head of state, General Abacha, and then subsequently the death of the winner of the election, Chief Abiola, necessitates us as a country to say, okay, look, let's assuage that feeling in the case of the Southwest. And so at that time, you had the major parties zoning their tickets to the Southwest. And of course, at the end of the day, someone from the Southwest did emerge president. I put that question to your former colleague, and he said he felt so, even though it was not written in the Constitution, and that was what gave him some level of fear, that because that item was in the 1995 Constitution, but it isn't in the 1999 Constitution. Do you agree with him?
Let's talk about what is in the Constitution or not. Britain doesn't have a constitution. I'm sure you know that. But they still run a parliamentary democracy. And there are some mores, and there are some things, and there are some ways that people do things, which has been accepted by everybody. And so whenever people resort to saying, oh, it's not here or there, you know that they're trying to avoid dealing with the issues. Even without something being in the Constitution, I think the particular section of the Constitution, I think section 5 also, says that you have to run the country in such a way as to engender unity and all that. So you can find justification in the Constitution if you want to. It's once you don't want to that you always have to, try to find.
But it does seem as if there's some level of consensus building around that idea, regardless of whether or not it is in the Constitution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I pointed you to what was not even in the British Constitution that is being done. So what goes on today actually is really that there's always an effort. People who genuinely think that the country should move forward will look and say, why don't we go this way or go that way? And of course, those who also have vested interest will say it's not there, show us where it is. I don't think there's everything that happens in a country that can be put in a constitution. How would you cover every aspect of life? You won't be able to. But there are some good things that you know that if you do it, it will lead us to a better union. Let's just put it that way. And so, the consensus building around saying, assuming this part of the country is brought in, let's just say that, and that will help each and every one of us, but I remember also that on our last interview, I also told you that as much as all these things are good, it is the intention of how somebody wants to do something that actually assuages you. Listen, if, for example, Mr. President had not described all of us as the Igbos as a dot in a circle, do you think people will be angry? if his expressions that day was something that was not so disdainful, I don't think people would have felt so bad. So the idea of, always feeling that, oh, except you do A, B, C, D. No. People look at your intentions, people look at how you act, people look at how you carry yourself. I think one of the popular T-shirts being sold around the Southeast now is One Dot Nation. People have now appropriated it and said, yes. Another one is Onye Dot. They've now turned it into, okay, it's a badge of honor. It's actually tells you that it is not the make us president or all that. That is the key issue. The key issue is, can we be accepted? You understand, in your thinking as, we look at it, and of course, when politicians like me talk, we reduce it to, of course, specifics of give me this position or that position. But that's not really the point. As leaders in the Southeast, we had a parley with the defense minister and a federal government delegation that they brought. They came to see us, and we appreciated it. But one question arose out of that meeting. On that same week, more than 100 people were killed in Kebbi. Ditto for Zamfara and all those people. And nobody sent any delegation to go and have a parley with all the leaders of that place. Meanwhile, that same week we had a parley. How many people were actually killed in the Southeast? And so, if you're from the Southeast, the question you ask yourself is, why am I being treated differently? Don't forget that at that same time, and I think there are still some 100 and something pupils that had been kidnapped and are still in Niger State. Nobody has sent a delegation to say, why you people? So it gives you a sense that because it's you, the treatment has to be different.
That's the point. Really. That's not strictly the narrative. In the case of Kebbi and Zamfara and Niger, I don't know whether the phrase to use is those are naturally occurring incidents.
How can you? No, Laddie, please don't go there. How can you say killing of people naturally occurring?
When I say naturally occurring, what I mean is that I don't think those can be described as organized crimes, bar the kidnapping, of course. But in the case of the Southeast, the targeting of police stations, the burning down of police stations, the raiding of their armories, correctional facilities, the killing of prominent and not so prominent figures, some as collateral damage while going after others, and consistent over a period. It wasn't a one-off. It happened over a fairly lengthy period. So if a federal government delegation was to come and speak to the leaders of the Southeast to say, what's going on here? Perhaps, I'm not a member of the federal delegation and I'm not in the East, but perhaps that one is considered of far more consequence in terms of security.
Understand what I said from the beginning. I said that it was salutary and we welcomed it. You understand? Suppose this type of incidences going on Because that, and we totally condemn it. And we said, we're not supporting it. We don't know who is doing it. We are not part of whoever is doing it. And we totally condemn. We're saying to the federal government, help us to be able to arrest this. That's why I said that it was welcome, it was salutary, it was good. But in the grand scheme of things, why?
Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe, share, like, turn on your notification bell.